What up? It's your boy Tom from Tom's TCG. Belligerent Balloons and I just went to a tag duel tournament.
I played Virtual World.
And I played the best deck in the game. Pendulum... Wait, no. Shiranui. So the best deck that we have available to us, between the two of us, is Virtual World. At the current moment.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I kind of just wanted to play Virtual World.
Okay. He really wanted to play Virtual World. Pendulum can't play through Shen Shen. True Draco cannot play through Shen Shen. Just about every deck I own cannot play through Shen Shen. So in order to avoid having to out my own teammate's monster that he would be going into 90% of turns, I decided to play a garbage deck, but soup it up as much as possible. Because Shiranuis actually play better under a macrocosmos. Well, not under macro, but under Shen Shen specifically. It's a very interesting interaction. And where did it get us? First place at the tag duel tournament.
Based.
Yes, it was based.
So basically the plan was just, I would go first. I would make Shen Shen and whatever else I could,
Crystal Wing Caliga.
Crystal Wing Caliga every single game through 10 negates. But whatever I could make reasonably with my hand, but I would always try to make Shen Shen just so this guy on his turn, since he was duel as B, he would get to play his turn under a macro, and it would actually enhance his combos in some aspects and allow him to, activate Spearmaster, for example, to pop cards when he otherwise would not have been able to.
Yeah, so I just make a big board, pop a bunch of cards. We still got his interruption from last turn. If our team was going second, I was duelist number 4, meaning I'm the first person that gets a battle phase. And this deck has a lot of big beefy boys that attack for a lot of damage, really helping you get down past the 16,000 life points. So we got first place, but our last match was...
It was a grind fest. It was hard. We were playing against a Invoke Shaddoll player, as well as a Dragoon set trap strategy of some sort.
With some sort of Predaplant engine in there as well. Not that you need Predaplants to make Verte, but he was main decking a lot of Predaplants.
But yeah, at one point we had to play against the invoked monster that pops when you special summon, a Winda, a Dragoon, an Ash,
and a Ghost Ogre
all in one turn, and that was pretty rough. It was a very grindy game. It was very back and forth, but I feel like our decks were just inherently better at grinding because, Virtual World's quite good at grinding with Shen Shen and whatnot, as well as your deck is able to just, basically get free pops while you're doing your combo. So we kind of just out-grinded them in the end, but the last match was hard. Yeah. They made us work for it, and honestly, it was pretty fun. Probably our funnest game at the tournament.
Yeah, just one Dark Ruler lets all the floodgates out and just one big turn, just get rid of everything.
Yeah.
And then proceed to continue grinding back and forth for a couple of turns, but sometimes that's how tag duels go, because it is, keep in mind, quite a bit of a slower format.
You would think that it actually would be faster, but I think it's just because, you have so many resources and just so many life points. It's very hard to do 16,000 damage on, one turn. And also just inherently because, if you think about it, if you have any sort of lock on your opponent, instead of having 5 cards to potentially out, they have 10 cards. You know what I mean? Yeah. So even if you're under some insane lock, like a nice block of for example, Crystal Wing and Caliga or whatever, that's a sort of soft lock. But instead of your opponent having 5 cards to potentially deal with it, they have 10. So
they would have 12.
12 technically, if I'm going first.
12 cards to out it, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot more significant than your opponent having 6. So
yeah,
it is harder to just set up a lock and just have it, stick, basically.
Yeah, and you can only attack with your monsters, but you have to attack through both players' boards to actually deal direct damage.
That's also true. Yeah. You can only attack with your monsters, but you have to attack over all of theirs to be able to do damage. I didn't even think of that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's an environment where grindy decks like these really shine. So we're going to give you our deck profiles that we used at the tag duel. And in case any of you ever get the opportunity to go to a tag duel tournament, I'd highly recommend it. And this is a nice strategy that you could try out for yourselves.
All right, guys. First, we'll go into the Virtual World deck. This is going to be really short and sweet just because it's a very standard list, to be honest. And it's more around, of course, Tom's zombie strategy of sorts. Okay, so very standard list, as I said. So we got 3 Lulu, 3 Gigi, and I actually relucted to play Nan. No, I'm just kidding. 2 Nan, of course. I relucted to play 3. We got 3 Lili, and 3 Lao Lao, and 1 Tao Tao. I kind of hate this card, but yeah, based. And then last for the monsters is just 3 Ash. I thought it would be the most generically good for a tag duel. It was pretty good actually. Okay, then for the spells, 3 Kowloon, 3 Qinglong, and 3 Foolish Bale of Goods. I also kind of hate this card, but well, it's not bad. It's very mediocre most of the time. Okay, and then Emergency Teleport, and then bunch of draw cards. So Upstart, Into the Void, 3 Ancient Leaf. Fantastic. Best part about playing a tag duel is getting to play Pot of Greed. That is fantastic. And 3 Desires as well. So a lot of draw cards. And
So
then
how many times did you brick with all those draw cards?
I did brick a couple times, to be honest. But I had one game where like my hand was like 2 Chuche, Zhanwu, and like 2 Qinglong or something. But you know, it happens. It happens. It is there is some luck involved. Okay, for the traps, very standard, just 3 Chuche and 1 Zhanwu. And yeah, probably like the literal most standard virtual world list you can imagine. Okay, and then onto the extra deck. So we got 1 Phantom Knight Breaksword, 1 Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, 2 Ptolemaeus, 1 Enter Blathnir. I never make that card. I literally forgot what it does until yesterday. Okay, 1 Coral Dragon, Stardust Charge Warrior, 1 Dweedwee, or GG, I don't fucking know. Vermilion Mech Dragon, 1 Arcathis, Shen, of course. And then we have the Ultimaya Zolkin with the Crystal Wing. And then last for the extra deck, we of course have the Muddy Mud Dragon and the Caliga to go along with it. And that is it for the extra deck. And then for the side deck, which I originally did not think we would side for this tournament, but I guess we did have a side deck, which I did use somewhat. Okay, so I sided 3 Gamma and Driver, obviously. Then I sided 3 Lancia, which I did not side in, 1 Pankratops, and 1 of the Buster Blader thing for the Dragon strategy. And then 3 Dark Ruler, 1 Feather Duster, 1 Call by the Grave, and Red Reboot. Dark Ruler, of course, the MVP for those games as we were playing against Invoke strategies quite often.
We're going to start off with the best normal summon in the game, and no, it's not Alistair. 3 Shiranui Solitaire. This is the primary normal summon we want. We can also just Mizuki it out of the graveyard in order to avoid having to normal summon to start our turn. We got 2 Spirit Master, which is fine as a normal summon, and then 2 Squire, which is also another normal summon you'd want to use if you've already used your Solitaire out of the graveyard. And then we've got 2 Samurai, and then 1 Spectral Sword Shade. This is all the Shiranuis that we're running. You'll notice there's a lot of 2-ofs here. That's perfectly fine for this specifically because these are not cards that we're specifically trying to open. We're just running multiples because we want to resolve their effects multiple times, and we want to be milling them frequently. We don't necessarily care if we open them in our hand, though. We're just trying to, mill as many cards as possible, get them in the graveyard, summon them from the graveyard, and then subsequently banish them. So having multiples is nice. We don't have room for 3, though. So that's why we're running all of these as 2-ofs. Except for Solitaire, because we do want to see the Solitaire. And then this is just an extra extender combo piece here. We're not playing the level 2. The level 2 really just isn't that great. Next, we've got our generic zombies. We've got 2 Unizombie. I'm playing 2 because you want to be able to resolve this multiple times, essentially. We've got Gozuki, and then 3 Meizuki. That's pretty standard ratios right there. And that is it for the zombies. The last few monsters is just 4 targets for our charge. Playing 2 Raiden, 2 Wolf. Thought about doing 3 Raiden, 1 Wolf, or 3 Wolf, 1 Raiden, but just decided to stick with this. Doesn't really come up too much either way. They're just targets in the deck for your best starters. Triple charge and triple recharge. So Shen only banishes a card if it's sent from the field to the graveyard. Sending cards from your hand to the graveyard and from the deck to the graveyard does not require or does not mean that they will get banished. So that's important because we're going to fill up our graveyard throughout our turn. So these cards are really good. It's the reason we're running the Lightsworn monsters, because otherwise they'd just be bricks. Actually, no. What am I saying? Normal summon Raidens and FTK. Anyway, we've got a extender that's really good, except for the fact that it zombie locks you. You can only summon zombies after you use it, but otherwise it's really good. You summon a Shiranui name from straight out of the deck. You can also discard a card in hand in case if you draw, Mizuki or something else that you'd like in the graveyard. Got another really nice extender right here, DDR. We're going to have a thick banish pile midway through our turn. So getting to summon one of those monsters out is very nice. Then we've got the 3 Ancient Leaf. We're just playing tag duels, man. We're gamers out here. Now we've got traps. We've got triple Swallow Slash, just because it's really nice. You can basically just pop 3 cards with it. And that's just busted right there. I relucted to play 4. And then we got 2 Lost Wind, just because the duels are pretty slow. You can expect to mill this during your turn, and then it just gives you extra interruptions for later in the game. That's it for the main deck. Now let's move on to the extra deck, and this is where most of your power is going to be coming from. You got the 1 Boral Sword. This did end up outing a Dragoon for me. It was very nice. You got the Avendred Savior. It's pretty good. We got the Vampire Sucker, which is very good in zombie decks, and then I've got that. The Skill Saga, never ended up making it. It kind of sucks, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's it for the Link monsters. Primarily, we are making synchros. So we've got our Shiranui synchros here. We've got the bad one that I never made. We've got the one that pops spells and traps. We've got the one that gains attack. This is a big boy right here. You can regularly expect this to be like 4,800 attack. And then we've got this one that just pops all kinds of cards whenever you summon it out. And these can also sort of loop each other. Once you summon this, you've probably used these earlier in the turn or earlier in the game, and you just return them to your extra deck so you can get them out later, which is really nice. We've got one more zombie synchro. Didn't come up too much, but it gains a little bit of attack. It's okay. I just really needed another level 7 synchro. And then we got some generic synchros. And remember, you can only make this before you activate an effect that locks you into zombies, but these are very nice. We got Magic Dragon. It mills 5 cards. That's it. It's just Minerva, but plus 2 cards. We've got Cyframe Lord Omega, really nice, being able to rip cards out of your opponent's hand, especially during a grind game. Also, it can return Mizukis. And if all else fails, it's rank 8 material. And then we've got a Vermilion mech. You're playing a couple different tuners, so it's pretty good to be able to just pop cards. And it's pretty easy to go into. You just need a Unizombie that's activated its effect twice. Now we've got the Xyz monsters. We've got Minerva, of course, because we are playing zombies. Milling cards is always something that we want to do. Believe it or not, I actually went into Minerva way less than I went into Magic Dragon. I always started off with Magic Dragon just because it mills more cards. Now, for the last 2 monsters, we've got zombie Xyz monsters, and believe it or not, the pool of available Xyz monsters that are zombie types are terrible. These are the only 2 playable ones I could really find. Alucard, which can pop set cards, and Lancelot, which served as a very nice interruption, which you can actually make rank 8s pretty easily in this deck. So that's basically the game plan right there. You're going either 3rd or 4th, just popping a bunch of cards, attacking a Fable, and then ending on this. And at that point, you've probably simplified the game state down to just an absolute grind fest that Virtual World and Zombies will be able to clean up easily. All right, so that was the Tag Duel Tournament Report. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe for future content on Wednesdays and maybe Saturdays. JK, unless. JK, unless. What if you subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video? You know, just what if.